Welcome to From the Sidelines. I'm Bobby Thompson, and this year we have started back our From the Sidelines series, a weekly report on our local high school sports and sports in our area. But this show is going to kick off each week. We will do some interviews with coaches, with players, kind of recap what happened the previous week and what our schedule is going to be like the coming up week. I'm now joined by Coach Justin Maddock of Central Hardin Girls Soccer. And Coach Maddock, how was the summer this year in preparation for this season?
It was great. We don't do a ton in the spring, so we get back to it in June with just some open soccer, and then obviously right after the dead period, we go into Western camp. But they came in really refreshed and excited and have worked extremely hard.
Who will be some of the key contributors you will have this season?
It's going to be really tough. We're deep. We got about 20 plus girls that can have minutes, so it could change week to week. But our main ones, we have Hannah, who plays in goal. Will only be a sophomore this year, but tremendously impactful with just the different attributes she has that you can't coach. And then when you talk about experience, Shelby Etson and Jordan Rowlett in the back, whether they're playing as our center backs or center mids, offer us a lot of experience and just they're calm back there. So those two are going to be huge and just anchoring our back line. And then as far as like offensively, we have a lot of older and younger mixed talent that is going to impact. So Ava McGee, Chloe Hayes, who was one of our leading scorers, learned from last year and wants to be really impactful, so she should be. Molly Bryan, that front three with Audrey McGee right behind them, should be really impactful for us.
And one last thing, and I'm going to ask each of the coaches this question, but how strong is the 17th district going to be this year?
It should be pretty strong. So I think a few of the teams are going to look different, including us. We've lost impactful players. It's a district that always changes year to year, and it's going to be competitive.
All right, well, we wish you all the best, Coach.
Yep, appreciate it.
Welcome back to From the Sidelines. We're now joined by Coach Phil Stockdale of Central Hardin. And Coach, you're the first-year coach at Central Hardin this year. How has that transition gone so far for you?
It's gone really well. The big reason being we got a great group of kids, so they're taking to the new system and style. And then the other part of it is I brought 7 assistant coaches with me. So the people I brought are really, really good, and the people that stayed have caught on to the system really well. So as far as the transition, it's been really well, been very helpful. All the administration, all the people here at Central Hardin. So the transition is going well. We just got to get the option down.
Well, moving from the summer, obviously you went through the dead period and went back a couple of weeks now. How have the students or the kids been picking up the new offense, the new defense?
We're getting better. It's just it's a process. There are some concepts that were similar to what Coach Mattingly did here, some wing T type stuff, but the option is just it's a repetition game. We just got to rep it and rep it and rep it and run it and run it and run it, and eventually it'll start to click. And when it does, it's going to be very effective.
I know the depth chart will change, but who are some of the key contributors right now?
Well, we've got on the offensive line, we're going to have Grayson Decker, Jackson Jones. Both those guys are going to be seniors, and they're going to be big contributors. In the skill positions, we've got Jackson Engstrand, who's he can play a lot of different positions. He's a nationally ranked long snapper. Jackson Rashaw, Caden Taylor, and we've got a couple of guys at R.J. Goodman, Seth Loudermilk. Those are all seniors, guys that have played a little bit in the past. Mason Smith's another one. There's 14 seniors, and most of them are going to be contributors for us. We just got to find the right, where they fit in the best in our system, and they'll be great contributors for us.
And then upcoming season, when is the first game and who's your opponent?
We got August 23rd. We're at George Rogers Clark High School for a bowl game, and that kicks everything off. It'll probably with a second game, so based on heat and how long the first game takes, we'll kick off around 8 o'clock somewhere at that time frame.
Well, Coach, we want to wish you all the best of luck as the season goes on.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it. All right.
Welcome back to From the Sidelines. This week we get to talk with Coach Brent Thompson of the North Hardin Trojans. And Coach, first of all, coming into this year, you had a spring practice. After dead period, you've had about 3 weeks. How's the team looking so far?
We're working hard every day, and honestly, it's been a lot better. I had a lot of good kids out there that are. I think we got about 85 to 90 kids out, so it's our numbers are up a little bit. So we're looking good so far.
You have a really good team every year. You had Sean Boykins last year. The player I'm going to ask you about is Ronald Luns, who's probably going to have to step up this year.
You know, we expect a lot out of Ronald. Ronald, it's under the tutelage of the last couple of years. We've had some pretty good receivers come through there, and obviously Sean going on to the University of Louisville helps. We know Ronald is going to be lead with us along with Marion Jadon.
Who are going to be some other key contributors for you?
You know, honestly, I think right now Marion's probably one of the biggest ones, and then we have several guys on the defensive side. It would be Seth Woods or even Julius Evans up front.
Okay, and who was your first opponent this year?
We played Pulaski Southwestern at Campbellsville High School in a bowl game.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to From the Sidelines, our volleyball preseason edition. Today we're joined by the North Hardin coach, Jessica Wagner. And Coach Wagner, I know you've had a scrimmage already, but how are the girls coming along?
I think that this is the best group of girls, honestly, that I've had the privilege to be able to work with in the 3 years that I've been at North. We have several returning players and also some new players from all around the country this year that I get to work with and develop, so I think that we're looking really good so far.
So who do you think some of the key players will be this year for the Trojans?
So we have a couple returning seniors that I think are going to be good, not just skill-wise, but also just leadership-wise for my younger girls. We have Reese Thompson, who is a senior. She is my starting libero as of now. She brings a lot of higher volleyball IQ. She's very good about reading the court, communicating to the players kind of what needs to happen, what's already happening, and things like that. I have a younger setter this year that I'm looking to kind of be my starting role in that leadership position. She's an incoming junior, and that's JoJo Adkins. I have Maya Jackson, who's coming in. She is a transfer from out of state. And then I have another transfer who's going to be our new middle that's replacing Adriana Anderson from last year. That was my biggest concern kind of from last year to this year is we lost a lot of very good hitters. We've always been a very strong defense team, but we needed some offense. And so I was begging for the higher ups to send me some really good hitting girls. And thankfully those prayers were answered when we got some transfers in. So I think that we're going to surprise a lot of people this year with some new talents that we've brought in.
And tell us, what's your first match going to be this year?
Our first match is against one of our biggest rivals, and that's E-Town. So we don't really get a whole lot of warm-up time to some of our biggest competition, but we actually have the privilege this year of playing them more than once. So I think it'll be good to kind of play them first in the season, kind of figure out where our kinks are and work through those, and then have another match with them again at the end of the season as well.
All right. Well, Coach, we want to wish you all the best.
Yeah.
And get out and check out the Trojans in their next volleyball match.